morning everyone, good afternoon, good evening from Lee at Magnetic North Magnet Fishing. And today I'm just going to do a bit of mudlarking in Sheffield. And currently I'm in city centre and I'm just going to walk along the river bank of the River Don. So we've got this area here just on the edge of the city centre, and there's a couple of islands up there that I'm going to explore another day. That'll be next week when I've got my waders with me. And just here near the Wicker, we've actually got an area that keeps getting exposed of water and land. So I've just spotted just here there is a shell, and these do get reused as soap dishes. As you can see, there's lots of pottery, stonework, things like that. It's a bit of blue and white there. And that is interesting. That's lead glazeware dating from the 1700s. You do get bits of driftwood, you get random bits of glass, sometimes metalware and other things as well. You just never know what's going to be found on any given day. So you do get bits of metal like this, and they're going to be removed as well. Keeps it out the water, and that's the best way. So I do always look at these old bricks as well for names, and that one's plain, but just here we've got the top of an old flagon, stoneware flagon from the Victorian period. There's a bit of stoneware flagon with some writing on. There's another brick here. That one's wedged in, so I'll leave that where it is. I've just seen over here there's such a shame, what would have been a Sheffield ginger beer bottle. So you just never know, sometimes you get bits, sometimes you don't. Right, I'll be back with you shortly. So on this bit, I've just seen there's a knife handle and bit of a knife. Remains of an old pewter spoon. That's going to be from the Victorian period. Nice. And just here there's a bit more of that lead glazeware, 1700s again. There's a lovely piece here where you can see the glaze has slipped on both sides. Now at the time they didn't realise that lead glazing was actually quite a toxic way to do things, but it was all they had at the time, and it kept things waterproof on the pots. So this is the area now, approaching to Wicker Arches. The water is shallow, so that will be done next week as well, and it's just a shame that this area has now become a major litter tip all around, so that's going to take a lot of work to get that done, but it will all be picked up now that I've seen it's here. And just here we've just found a very old piece of marble. Few fragments there. So this is an area that once I start picking it clean, it's going to have to be with support of somebody else, because this is quite a rough part of town, and you do often get, sadly, the old needles in the area. Just found an old electrical insulator there. And just out of the mud, a very small hubcap. And just down here there's a spoon, quite nice, intact. It will have some maker's marks on that. And just down here, got a very large old cow bone, but that can be repurposed, make that into something. And here we have the remains of a stone grinding wheel for knife sharpening. Remains of a plug, bits of metal in, that will all go to recycling. So this is a suspended walkway that goes over the river, and just looking back towards the area of the Mudlark Inn and town centre down there, you've got these old walls, and that used to be a loading bay for coal boats and things like that back in the day, in the 1850s onwards. The suspended bridge has got spider lights. And just down here, I'm going to show you as we're here, this is the area known as the Wicker in Sheffield. Now during World War II, this area was heavily blitzed by air raids from the Luftwaffe German bombers in 1940. And the air raids took place here on the 12th and 13th of December 1940 and the 15th and 16th of December 1940. So here we have the old Wicker Arches, and this area used to have lots of tram tracks and railway down here, but I'm just going to carefully cross the road, and I want to show you the area where a bomb actually hit the viaduct. So just up there, that repair mark and that circular feature, that's where the bomb went through and exploded, destroying many trams in the area, and sadly there was quite a bit of loss of life in the area. And just here, that's where an air raid shelter used to stand. And inside the walls you can see all these pock marks of where bits of shrapnel hit the walls. And here we've got scars of where shrapnel has bounced off the walls as well. Now we do have a history board that tells you a bit about it. So there we go. And right where I'm standing now, you can see the walls are heavily scarred from where the shrapnel of bombs hit. And just to see it from the other side, we've got, just up here, there it is again, with the different coloured bits that were repaired. And again, on this side of the wall, you've got lots of shrapnel marks, and some of those do still contain bits of iron. So just here we've got a building that was actually destroyed during the Blitz as well, and that's just on the corner of Wicker. So we've got this little bridge here and an old railway bridge behind it. This is still the River Don, and we're moving round to an area known as Salmon Pastures. Now unfortunately it is quite messy in there, and the local volunteer groups have not been out at the moment, but we're just here. And this is Burton Weir, which was built across the River Don to supply water to mills. The river built up behind the weir and was forced to flow into an artificial channel. The water of this gully rushed by water wheels to power water mill machinery. Salmon has not lived in this river for over 200 years, but are now starting to return to this particular area. So the water wheel here was only a small one, but the factories at the side is where the mill used to stand. Now there will be chance at getting across onto this other island, and this is also known as Inner City Treasure Island, because you do find lots of items on there. You would just need your waders across there, but that area will be cleaned again very, very soon with the local Rivers Trust. And from that island there's another water space that goes across, and it joins onto this small island here where bottles and things have washed up in the past. Now I've just spotted over there somebody's dumped a bed, folding bed, into the river, so not happy about that at all. So this area is called Salmon Pastures in Attercliffe area of Sheffield. Now this is normally a good area for mudlarking in the water. There is a lot of rubbish and debris in the area, but it's always worth picking that up as well whilst you're in the area. And you just never know what washes out here. The water is very low due to the pump that's over there. Now I have just spotted, just over here, there is this early grindstone wheel just there. That's a nice piece of local heritage. As you can see in the water, there is things like vape pens there, that green thing. I just can't get to it today, so I will come back on Monday and clear some more of this debris from this area. So just come across this old brick from the Victorian time, Oaks and Green Limited, trademark Halifax and Leeds. That's an interesting one. So all these old bricks, they're a long gone industry that used to exist, and it's quite important for industrial archaeology that examples are recovered and preserved for future generations to see. Now this area here does get very trashy, as does this whole section of the river, because whenever it floods down here, there's so much water, it makes it near impossible to be down at this area. And this area, all the way up to these top of these bushes here, always gets submerged underwater, which makes this quite rich pickings for any mudlarking in this area. I imagine when the weather improves, there will be a lot more clean-ups going on in this area, and I myself will certainly volunteer to do some clean-up work as well. It just needs doing. It needs a regular check on the area, and it's actually so painful to me personally seeing all this debris, and I can't do anything about it today on my own. So I will come back and I will tackle some of the area with a litter pick on Monday, and I'll do a bit of mudlarking as well, just to recover bits out of the water as we go along. So we're in Attercliffe area of Sheffield now, and it is, as I say, quite a messy area, and I'm going to make sure that I set about making sure that this area starts to regenerate back to a lovely area. Back in the day it was an area of heavy industry, and it was a very popular part of town, well, the city, but now not so much, but that can change. So that will be my personal mission over the next 2 years, to try and make sure this area goes back to how it should, looking nice. So I've just come across this little burnt area right on the edge of the waterway there, and I can see debris starting to go into the water already. So I'm going to get this area cleaned up, and at least it's not entering the waterway. So I've done what I can for that area, picked up all the bits of metal that I could see, the bits of plastic, and that stops it going into this beautiful river we've got here. So I've just got to another area, which is Attercliffe, next to Washford Road Bridge. You've got car bumpers in tops of trees that could have washed down from the river, but then you've got so much illegal fly tipping going on all along the river bank It's just everywhere. It's in the water. It's all the way down the sides of the embankment as far as you can see. It makes it almost impossible to do anything. There's the car bumper up in the tree from the floods. Just shows how high the water does go. I mean, that's just soul destroying. So put your rubbish in dustbins, appreciate your areas, make areas nice, and you increase property values, improve things for nature, and we all have a beautiful surrounding to look at. We don't want to see this. So I've just had this out of the water. It's thick braided parachute cord. So in this particular area there was a parachute mine drop in 1940 during the Blitz, and that'll be what that's from. So that's an interesting local relic. And just here I've just spotted, just here we've got the lid of an old crucible pot. So that's going to date 1780 through to 1900. Just found this fishing spinner as well. And this bit of iron, not sure what it is. I think it would have been part of a drill blade at one time. Now looking into the river, I've seen something pretty cool. And it reads, Exchange Street, formerly The Hill, and that's a street sign from Sheffield. So that'll be rescued. And just here we've got remains of a steel ingot. Nice. And just down here I've just found a poker chip. So that's going to get cleaned up and reused, and that'll have one of my logo stickers on, Magnetic North Magnet Fishing. So when you look at little areas like this, there's lots of little hidden spots to look between, and just see what's what really. So here we've got some very old steel cable. That'll be from an old pit that was in the area. And I've just spotted in the water just down here another one for the collection. And what we've got, just got to get down here because it's quite low. So what we've actually got here is an old mobile telephone, full of water, full of sludge, but that's definitely a keeper. I do love those. Old technology, not that old but still nice. And in the water I can see just down here there's a ceramic snail shell. So I'm going to have a general walk back up this area, see what's around, and I'll keep you posted as I go. So I've just found this concreted piece of iron. Now that's an interesting shape, so that again is going to go back and going to be cleaned, see what's inside it. Now this particular area as well was affected by air raids, and the bridge itself was damaged in both the First World War and the Second World War. So firstly by a German Zeppelin in 1916, and secondly by the Luftwaffe aircraft of a Heinkel bomber during 1940. I have found shrapnel in this area, in the past. Hard to date it precisely, but it's going to be from one of those events. And I have found English Civil War cannonball as well. So I've just found this ceramic piece which would have been part of an insulator, and I've just picked up an old wheel cap just on the edge of the water. Cool. And, I've just seen a soleless old child shoe, and because it's only got 3 laces with one middle bit, that is going to date to the 1920s. Still an interesting find. And some very old boot leather and a woman's shoe there, also very old. So those are actually going with me. So this area's changed a lot. This is where I found the cannonball, which was at the time in water. And this bit here is concrete reinforced, as that's the bit that was damaged by the bomb or bombs. And those holes in the wall, they're blast marks from shrapnel. Now this bridge was rebuilt, but near here there was an English Civil War wooden bridge, and it was clearly attacked by the Royalists or Parliament going into the city of Sheffield to take Sheffield Castle. 1643, 1644 sort of era. And just here we've got a brand of shoe. Not sure how old that is, somebody might be able to tell me. So that's going to go with me. So this is history of the area. If you want to read this, please pause the video so you can have a read. So the area has been used as a tip since 1959. But yeah, so first stone bridge built in 1672, later damaged by floods in 1751. A turnpike or toll road was built from Sheffield to Tinsley, which was the furthest point boats could travel along the Don, so that goods materials could be carted easily. This became Attercliffe Road as we know today. Now there is a bit there about the early bridge, and it was 1644 the skirmish took place in this area. Just angle you right. And some more history on the site, showing all the heavy industry, all the steelworks and the coal pickers from 1920 to 1939. Hard times, but people managed. So that was a short mudlarking history video walk. I'm now going to have another little walk along to the canal where I'll be going back for the bus. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button, and I'm looking forward to reading your comments as they come in as well. So thanks again. This is Lee from Magnetic North Magnet Fishing. Bye for now.